All right, now we're going to work on real-world problems with decimals. People like to make fun of us when we say real-world problems, because aren't these also real-world problems? And they are, but real-world problems just means that you're going to be doing word problems, because this isn't how math is normally presented in the real world. Normally you're presented with a situation, and you might have some numbers that are like for a measurement or for a time, and you need to figure out what to do with those numbers in order to be able to find a solution for your problem. So the best way for us to practice that is with word problems. And I hated word problems when I was a kid, but I've gotten to where I'm not as afraid of them as I used to be. So I hope that by the time you're done with this video, you are less afraid of them too, if you are a little afraid of them like I was. All right, so a cafeteria used 128 5/10 kilograms of beans to make 5 batches of chili. What quantity of beans went into each batch? So when you're looking at this, batches can be our math action word because we are looking at splitting up this large thing into smaller pieces. Those batches are the smaller amounts. So we're going to be taking 128 5/10 kilograms and 5 batches, and we're going to be using those numbers in a division problem. Now, which one is being divided by what? Are we dividing the 128 5/10 kilograms of beans by the batches, or are we dividing the batches by the 128.5 kilograms of beans? We are dividing the large kilograms of beans by the 5 batches. So we're going to put 5 on the outside. And since a whole number is on the outside, we don't have to worry about moving the decimal at all. So we can jump straight into solving this problem. 5 won't fit into 1 because 5 is bigger than 1, but 5 will fit into 12 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. And 12 minus 10 is 2. Bring down your 8. 5 will fit into 28 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. And 28 minus 25 is 3. Bring up your decimal and bring down your 5. 5 will go into 35 exactly 7 times because 5 times 7, is 35. We have no more numbers to pull down and we have a 0 remainder, so my quotient is 25 7/10. Now, in pair assessment, we give you that unit of measurement. So next to the box where you would type this in, you'd have 25 7/10 kilograms. Sometimes, though, you'll take a test where they won't give you the unit of measurement, and it's really important that you put it in because it shows that you understand what the question is asking. It shows that you understand what those numbers mean. So if it doesn't have a unit of measurement, you need to fill it in, but most of the time we'll give it to you. Number 2, I like this one. The fabric costs $7.58 a yard. That's the dream right there. A lot of the fabric I buy now is like $9 a yard. Anyway, if Janae buys 3 5/10 yards, how much will it cost her? So sometimes people get this one confused and they think, okay, I need to add 7 5/8 to itself 3.5 times, which is confusing, and we have a better way of doing that. This is a multiplication problem. So $7.58, we're just going to write that as 758, and then that 3.5 or 3.5 or 3 5/10, I'm just going to write that as 35. Okay, and that's a multiplication problem. 5 times 8 is 40. The 0 goes down and the 4 goes up. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 more is 29. And 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 more makes 37. Okay, I'm done with these numbers that I carried, and I'm done with this 5. My next digit starts in the tens place, so my answer has to start in the tens place. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 more is 17. And 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 more is 22. Add up your products. 0 and 0 is still 0. 9 plus 4 is 13. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. And nothing plus 2 is 2. In my original problem, I had a decimal here and here. So there were 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal in my problem. So there need to be 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal in my answer. Problem number 3. So they give us a drawing of it's a very rough map. And so we have Cedarburg to Centerville to Newburgh. And Cedarburg to Centerville is 8 3/10 kilometers. Centerville to Newburgh is 7 8/10 kilometers. And it says, using the path shown, how far is it from Cedarburg to Newburgh? So we're going from the farthest one through the middle one and to the one that's the most on the right. This is a lot easier to explain when you have the actual paper in front of you, which unfortunately I do not. I'm looking off of my computer screen. But hopefully you have the process paper, or not the process paper, hopefully you have the assignment paper in front of you so that made sense. We are going to be adding those two numbers together, which again, that was 8 3/10 and 7 8/10. 3 and 8 is 11. I like to go ahead and bring down my decimal here. 1 and 8 makes 9. 9 and 7 is 16. And I'm done. It is 16 1/10 kilometers. Number 4, a subtraction problem that I bet a lot of people missed because they lined it up incorrectly. Remember, when you're doing decimals, and you're adding or subtracting, the decimals have to line up. Now, Patricia has $425 in her checking account. How much does she have in her account after she makes a withdrawal of $185.92? And underneath we have a hint. When someone makes a withdrawal from the checking account, they are taking money out of their account. So if we're taking money away from our account, we are subtracting it. You could also figure out that this is subtraction because there's only 4 problems here, and we've already done a division problem, a multiplication problem, and an adding problem. So the only thing we haven't done yet is subtract. Here we go, 425, and that's minus 185 92 hundredths. Remember that every whole number has an invisible decimal behind it, so that's where those decimals would line up. I bet a lot of people wrote the 492 over here and then got confused when they had this 18 floating out in space, and so then they flipped the numbers. No, no, no. Don't do that. Remember that every whole number has an invisible decimal behind it. Let's put placeholder zeros there to help us while we subtract. 2 can't be taken from nothing. So I go next door to borrow, but there's nothing there to borrow. So I go next door again. The 5 goes down to a 4 so that the 0 can go up to a 10. Now I can borrow. This 10 goes down to a 9 so that this 0 can become a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 9 is 0. Bring down your decimal. So far, so good. 4 cannot be subtracted by 5. So I have to go next door. This 2 goes down to a 1 so that this 4 can become 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. Now, I can't take 8 away from 1 because 8 is bigger than 1, so I have to borrow for the final time. 4 goes down to 3 so that 1 can go up to 11. 11 minus 8 is 3, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So the amount that she has left in her bank account is $239.08. R.I.P. Penny.